What is up, guys? Hope everybody is having a great day. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to utilize your long form content, and really 3 ways you can do it. And they're pretty specific, but this is really focused towards like CEOs, executives, and really people who run events. And so as you've been hearing me say over the last year, long form content, I think, is where you really develop that expertise and really nurture that relationship. Because again, everybody can do short form content, but the people who do long form content as well, you can really see their expertise in whatever industry they're in. So the first thing that you can do to utilize your long form content is you can create a landing page. Now, I want to be really clear about the difference between a landing page and a website. A website is really like a digital brochure that shows everything your business does, everything your product that you develop does, about your team, case studies, all of that. It's like a digital brochure that somebody can come and view and really consume a lot of information. On the flip side, a landing page, or as some people call it, a funnel sometimes, is a page that is designed for people to do one of two things: either go to the page and leave, or go to the page and opt in. Whenever you design it, you don't add navigation, you don't add about us pages, you don't add case studies or things of that nature. You create one page that has videos, copy, testimonials, social proof, the offer, and then an opt-in page for them to opt in and give them your information in order to be able to contact you to take the next steps. And so when I talk about this, I'm talking about adding your video to a landing page. If you add your video to a landing page and then you add a simple opt-in form, let's say it's a brand story, let's say it's something about how you guys do the process that you do, whether it's home services, real estate, finance, whatever it is, what this video allows people to see is that it allows them to build that relationship with you more and then take that action, like I said, of either leaving or opting in to want to learn more. I call them second base videos sometimes, because it's like, if you can get your ideal consumer to second base without having an in-person connection, once you finally connect with them, you can spend more time on how to bring value versus trying to explain exactly what you do, who you are, things of that nature. So that's the first thing that you can do with your videos, is you can put one of the videos on a landing page with a simple opt-in for people to learn more about you. That way people can consume the content and then take an action. I think a lot of times when it comes to long form content, people don't create a call to action, and so they always wonder if long form content is even valuable to them. But this way you can clearly see if what you're doing can provide value, can stir up some curiosity and get people to opt in. The second thing you can do is as far as events. And so I'm actually talking to a client of mine right now about this, but a lot of times when people have events, when they have seminars, when they have workshops, they don't film them. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity lost whenever you don't film your event, for a couple reasons. For starters, if you don't film it, the only people who get value from it are the people who were in the room that day. And that makes the event extremely hard to grow, because then it's just people talking about the event without necessarily any social proof or any really confirming content to what those people were saying. But if you film the event, there's a couple things I think that you can do that are super beneficial. For starters, the first thing that you can do is, if you film the event, long form content, you can have people watch virtually. So that means that people can log into Zoom, log into wherever, and you can have the camera stream the event as the event is happening. That way you can grow the audience virtually and in person. But the next thing that you can do, I think, is super valuable, is you can take the videos that you recorded. So let's say you had 4 speakers in a half day, right? And let's say the event was $500. Well, now what you can do is you can take all of those recordings and you can give people a heavily discounted rate, since they weren't in the room, they can't do Q&A. Side note, if you're ever gonna edit long form content, especially like keynotes or anything, I always recommend that you take the Q&A out, because the Q&A is what people pay for to be in the room. But you put those videos up on a page where people can access them, and then you create a page where people have to literally give you their email and phone number and their name, and they have to pay, let's say the event was $500. If they have to pay $97 to see all the recordings, well, the great thing about that is you can make money back on the event, and you can continue to sell that for as long as you want, and there's no cap on when you can't sell that anymore. So that's one benefit to having the video recordings. Now, some people may say, well, what if my event was free? Well, if your event was free, what you can do is you can build that same opt-in page without a payment link, and you can get people who are interested in seeing the recordings to opt in. That way you can build your list to market and to promote for the years to come. Because again, that's something that if you don't record it and the people leave on January 1st and the event's January 1st and the people leave January 2nd, you have nothing that you can promote to other people. But on January 2nd, you can take those recordings, put them on a page, get people to opt in. If your event was free, get people to opt in to see the recordings. And then you have a whole nother year to build a list to then market to the people to come in person in the future. So that's another thing that you can do with your long form content. And then the last thing I think that you can do, which we've been doing a lot recently because we've been doubling down on email marketing, is you can take your long form videos and you can put a thumbnail of them in an email, and then you can write a little blurb about the video, and then you can have people click on the thumbnail picture that takes them to your website. Because the great thing about this is you can kind of stir curiosity, and you can take people from your email to your landing page to your website. And let's say it's a podcast episode that brings value. Let's say it's an interview about where the market's going. The great thing is about that is you can put that podcast episode, that long form video of you wherever, and then you can have an opt-in form right below. That way the customer journey is a lot simpler and you're making people take clear actions. Like from what I've seen in the past is people will send somebody to their website and then they have to decide on what actions they want to take. But if you send them to an email and they click the email, they either have to click the email or not. So they have to take a direct action there. And then once they watch the video on your website, they either opt in to discovery call, whatever it is that you're promoting, or they don't. And so that allows you to have a lot more testing as far as things that you can do on the back end to really increase your conversion rate. I think that when it comes to conversion rates, the less that you have to worry about, the more things you can test to see what's working. Because if you have to get your ideal person to take like 27 steps, well, that's a lot of steps that you have to analyze to make sure. But if they have to take 3 steps in order to become a qualified lead, that allows you to really utilize and figure out what's working, what's not working. And so those are kind of the 3 things that I wanted to talk about today as far as ways that you can utilize your long form content, because I think a lot of times people just tell you to start a YouTube channel or start a podcast. But I wanted to give you tactical ways that you can take that long form content and in essence, you can market forever. So like always, if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out on social and at FRHeart2, and I look forward to seeing you make your message known. Have a great day and God bless.